And as men and women take this race course today, Father, I pray you just, your hand of protection would be upon them in all their pursuits and desires in their lives.
And on the 9th day, after he made the farmer, God looked down on his hard-working America and said, "We need a place to celebrate the laborer, a time to wring out the last ounce of summer and enjoy the timeless passion of sport." So God made Crandon. He realized he needed a town that retained the magic of America's Main Street, long after those kinds of places had largely disappeared. And maybe, just maybe, it could be surrounded by the beauty of God's paradise, with just enough isolation to make it all seem like the middle of somewhere. So God made Crandon. Most importantly, God said, "I need to find a hardy breed of people, strong of mind and steadfast in spirit." God would ensure the folks he entrusted with his vision that they could build it without worry. For if they build it, they would indeed come. In fact, they would do so every August. God made Crandon. And God said, "I need to find a place where we can trade the power of one farm horse for the unbridled symphony of 900. It should be in the heart of America, one where the titans of the sport can compete with the everyman on the same track, on the same day, all witnessed by tens of thousands of happy people, young and old and everything in between. But let it all start with a homegrown parade in the heart of the town's Main Street, one celebrating the blessings of being red, white, and blue." So God made Crandon. God and the people of Crandon created a special place that exists nowhere else on his green earth. For nearly 5 decades, the tiny town in the north woods of Wisconsin has opened its heart and welcomed those that conquer and those that lose and those that just watch and enjoy. And at the heart of it will be a celebration with no barriers. And that is why God made Crandon.
Grab yourself a beverage, settle into the couch, and chuck that remote across the room. You are in the right place at the right time. Welcome, everybody, to the 55th Polaris Crandon World Championships with Ken Stout. I'm Chris Jacobs. We're joined now by the man who puts it all together, the promoter of the event, Marty Fiolka. Welcome.
Thank you guys for being here. It's wonderful to actually sit here on this hill and after some great racing today and get ready to rile up for some rage on the rocks here at Crandon. And it's been a great day, a great couple days. We've had blessed with great weather and a great crowds, great racing today. Looking forward to tonight. That's a whole special thing onto itself. And then, of course, the Red Bull World Cup Sunday tomorrow. So, but having you guys, having the A-team like we talked about all week has been great. And there's a lot of people talking about it. And just want to welcome you guys and MAV TV and being live on television is fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We appreciate you saying that. We're having a blast doing it. Now, I know you prep for this event 361 days a year for these 4 days. You got to be so proud with the turnout.
Yeah, you know, it's like these, like when you're building a house, you actually get to see the house being built. Like that wall's going up. When you do promotion, a lot of times, all the pieces are like a big funnel. You keep throwing stuff in, and then kind of as it gets toward the bottom, you know, what comes out is some magic sauce, or it's not. There's been good and bad this weekend, but you know, we cram a lot into this weekend. A lot. I mean, you think about it, the value for the fans. You know, 55 races in 3 days. It's an insane schedule. And you know, but we're on night racing. Last night was spectacular. Today was spectacular. The Rage on the Rocks is one of my favorite events, especially back in their ultracross section. And what's great about it, though, is we bring racers in from all across the country. The Midwest Series, the Short Course Series, the Amstel Champ Series is a lot of Midwest-centric racers. We just watched, a California win for the first time in Pro 4, which was spectacular. Cole Maimer win, and then Ricky Gutierrez also California won for the first time. So I love seeing the nation come together for, essentially is the best off-road race in my mind in the world, and sort of the biggest short course race, and that's why it's the World Championship. It's Labor Day weekend in the middle of America, baby.
You're a fabulous promoter. You're a Hall of Famer. You've been part of Dust to Glory, the movie. As I see you sit here, I want to tell you, relax, pal. In 24 hours, you're going to get some sleep.
Oh, no. The sun's going down. 24 hours, I'm next door in the bar drinking beer out of the Red Bull cup is what I'm doing. No, there's no sleep. I can sleep later.
Yeah, perhaps this coming week you might be able to get a couple nights.
My wife, Susan, and I have one rule. On the Monday after Labor Day, if I sleep till 9 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon, it doesn't matter, baby. Just let me go. So
Your work here is complete.
It is complete for another minute. And then we start again on next Tuesday. But no, it's a lot of passion, but I just love seeing people happy. And I love seeing not just our fans happy, our racers are happy, our broadcast crew seems fairly happy, and we're having a great time. And then, the thing that always gets me is that even, all the people like Toyota who come, TRD set up an amazing booth, and that they're really happy, and that they're so excited about the fans coming and interacting. And we have a lot of really great fans. They're not just coming to hang out. They love the racing. They love cars. In this case, they love logging, guns, whatever it is. They're into it up here, so it's great.
Hey, bud, I got a quick question for you. We didn't get a chance to talk about this on Thursday night. We just ran out of time. We had a wonderful night here Thursday night at the Golden Ticket Dinner. But you were going to talk about vintage racing that's coming to Crandon. Fill us in, man. I know you're passionate about it.
I am. I love history and off-road racing. I did, was a producer on the film Dust to Glory, and we touched on, Vic Wilson in that movie said one of my favorite lines, if we knew we were making history, we would have paid more attention. So we're paying attention. I help Mike Perlman, who is here tonight, who's also in the Hall of Fame. His dad started NORA. So when we restarted NORA, I got right into it, my old vintage race cars, and started going vintage racing. It's a big thing in sports car racing, as we know, and it's just that whole thing that's kind of missing here. I mean, there's lots of race cars sitting around. So what we decided to do next June at our Brush Run weekend is we're bringing back like a retro vibe car show with all these old race cars and allowing people to go out and do some exhibition laps just to get it started. I actually spent the summer when I wasn't working restoring an old 1993 Art Schmidt buggy because I want to do some laps too, and it's sitting over at the Fox booth. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Fox this year. But I think it's going to be great. And what I think is great isn't about necessarily the people necessarily my age, although I'm certainly getting older, but it's, my dad, all he talks about is when he was back here at Crandon putting on his helmet and just taking that old truck out, or that old buggy out and going the Baja Bug. And we're going to be able to have him revisit those memories, right? And there's magic in that. I mean, there's magic in that. So I think it's going to be pretty successful. There's already people vying for, old Jack Flannery trucks potentially, or I know about old Baja Buggers, and hey, it's Midwest. So under that tree back behind the cornfield, there's this old car rotting. I think we can get it out and put a 350 in it. Let's go. And so we have my car one, but we also have a Carl Renazitter Pro 4 that's here. The Carl kind of left here, so I think we're going to making it a two-seater, putting a maybe an LS motor in or something, and having it be part of it too. So we just want to bring history alive. The only place you can do it in short course is Crandon. The building behind me someday will be a Crandon museum, a short course museum. We're getting ready to build that, and I just think it's the right time, for sure.
Awesome.
I love the fact that you referenced Dust to Glory, because that's actually how far Marty and I go back. I went to the premiere of the film in LA, so that's about 20 years ago. It
was exactly 20 years ago.
Yeah.
In fact, next April, when we did it, we're going to have a 20-year reunion, and we're going to have a rescreening of the film. And I remember you being there. We worked on a Volkswagen project together, based on all that. So, 20 years ago. Yeah, we've been around a few minutes, Chris.
All right, we got to go to another break right now, but don't go anywhere because the racing starts very, very soon. You're watching MAV TV.
This Crandon Ultra 4 Rage on the Rocks is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Crown Performance. Know what the pros know. Crown Performance brake lines. And by Polaris. Think outside.
Welcome back, everybody. You are watching the 55th Polaris Crandon World Championships presented by Toyota. Let's go places with my colleague Ken Stout, and the race call is being done by Miles Hasselquist and Ricky Johnson. Pam Hall with the podium interviews. Ken, is there anywhere else in the world you'd rather be right now on a Saturday night than Crandon? This is exciting stuff.
I love motorsports. I love all forms of motorsports, and I live in the Indianapolis area. And going on this weekend, Labor Day weekend, every year in Indianapolis is a little thing called the U.S. Nationals. It is the largest, most prestigious drag race on the planet. I'm here. This is where I'm coming, man. I love drag racing. I respect all of them, and they've got some great stuff going on, but I love Crandon. It's just, it's a 20-year career for me. So I have a lot of friends. I have a lot invested out here, and I just love this form of sport.
Yeah, well, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. You being here says a lot about what you love and your support of Crandon, and it's very well appreciated. And I'm happy to be up here on the stage with you, my friend. And as you say, let's see who's standing on the final lap. So who are we looking forward to seeing?
I have no idea. Any man can win.
Yeah, well, we're about to find out exactly what's going to happen, because we are ready to go racing here at Crandon International Speedway. Once again, with the call, Miles Hasselquist and Ricky Johnson. Guys.
Thanks, Chris and Ken. They got a little excited on us. Up next is the Pro Modified class for the UTVs.
And I want to talk about Paul Wolf. He won both of these races yesterday and the first race today in the same exact car. Miles, let's talk about that for a moment. The preparation that has to go into it. They don't have time to do anything other than wipe some dirt off and add fuel. Maybe change some tires. That's about all they got time to do.
I don't think they have time to even change the tires. It is, like you said, throw a little bit of fuel in it and rock and roll. But Paul Wolf right there, he just got done winning this race. He just got off the podium, and now he's starting side by side with Travis Zollinger, who also just podium in his class as well. So the top two up front are, they're doing some double duty and making it happen. Can-Am's up front.
Well, I can guarantee you Zollinger's like, you know what? I do not want to let you sweep this weekend. I got pole position. I'm coming at you into that first turn. But it is Paul Wolf that has been impeccable on these starts. He's creeping a little bit. They're both creeping. They're waiting for that green flag to drop. He's holding, ready. And then we're going to be taking off and going racing here in just a moment.
I think they're pulling it up, because we will do a standing still, side by side, 2 at a time start, 20 minutes plus 1 lap. Last time we had 3 races going on all at the same time. This time it is just the Pro Modified class.
So let's talk about the Pro Modifieds. What makes them different than the other classes?
So it's the biggest and baddest names in our sport will be racing this. You can have hydraulic steering and aftermarket turbos. It is based on an OEM chassis, but aftermarket chassis and boat siding is allowed. Must use stock suspension pickup points. Reinforcing is allowed. Must run full front plastics. 1000cc maximum engine and a 35-inch tire. So that is the Pro Modified class. Last time we had 3. This is all the same. And we got some heavy hitters in there with Paul Wolf and Travis Zollinger in row number 1. Row number 2 is Tyler Rimreed and Brandon Davis. And row number 3 is Tyler Gibbs and Dwayne Wells. Then it's Matthew Walraven and Mark Hansen. And coming from the back, who was in second for quite a while yesterday, is Cass Lee Croy, side by side with Carson Atkins. We got some heavy hitters here, Ricky.
Anything can happen. We've seen a lot out of Tyler Rimreed, and his father Todd was very strong last night in the stock class. Didn't fare so well, but let's see if Paul Wolf can pull out that hole shot again from the outside. I kind of like that position because it puts you out into the cushion. It's off camber inside, and you have to hesitate a little bit, but it does give you where to go. And now we see Zollinger with the hole shot. He must have hurt me.
And live racing with Paul Wolf on the outside and Travis Zollinger in that single seat Can-Am on the inside for the Pro Modified 4900 UTV Rage on the Rocks, all part of the 55th Polaris Crandon World Championship. And Paul Wolf has fell a little bit back early. What's going on, Ricky?
I was going to say, now he's
off pace.
People go around, something is wrong with him. A lot of times these things, when you run so hard, they'll go in a limp mode. But right now, it is Travis Zollinger with a commanding lead as he pulls through the gravel pit.
And making his Ultra 4 debut in the Miller car right there on the inside, or on the outside closest to us right now, is Brandon Davis. He is a rock bouncer that is dabbling in Ultra 4, so great to see him having such great success on his first big race out here at the Big House in Calamity Corner. A little bit of contact is made, but everybody is still moving. And look at Cass Lee Croy making his way through the crowd.
A little bit of Calamity Corner. corner, so good call there as we see Zollinger as he makes his way through, and then now the rest of the crew bouncing through the rocks, getting the first look at it since they saw it last night.
So that was Brandon Davis. It looked like it. Yeah, so there's Travis Zollinger, our race leader in that single seat Can-Am in the Pro Modified class. Number 20, doing some great things out there out of Logan, Utah with Zollinger Racing Products. Zollinger Racing Products started in the snowmobile, which is very heavy up here.
Big bicycle. I'm sorry, I jumped on top of you there, but man, Zollinger with a huge bicycle. I'm sorry about that.
No worries, buddy.
On 2 wheels, but great recovery and back after it. Sorry about that.
Yeah, all good. So to finish my thought there, Travis Zollinger with Zollinger Racing Products was heavy in the snowmobile and then crossed over to UTV, and obviously up here in Crandon, Wisconsin, snowmobiles are life during the winter, so it's great to see them representing so well.
I'm going to throw a shout out, and this is unpaid for. I only trust his A-arms when it comes to my Polaris side-by-side in the desert. His stuff is so first class, so strong. It's a great thing when all the racers will buy their competitors' products. So Zollinger ZRP has made some great products, and we trust him at Johnson Off-Road.
And it is still Travis Zollinger out front, but then it's really close between Brandon Davis, Tyler Rimreed, Tyler Gibbs, Dwayne Wells, Clashley Croy has worked his way up, Carson Atkins still there, Matt Walraven. How far back is Paul Wolf? What a heartbreaker. He has won every single race in that UTV, and tonight it's he just won, but it's not looking good.
Well, obviously something happened. But we're not even seeing him. He's way in the back. So the chances of him coming back is pretty much out of the question. Right now we can see they're a little over 2.5 minutes when it comes to their lap times. So right now 18 minutes to go with Travis Zollinger out in front and commanding lead at this point. But anything can change when it comes to the rocks. And also we've seen a lot of guys bicycling, trying to run hard in the short course.
Trying to get all of that traction they can get. And there's Tyler Gibbs, who also just raced back-to-back. And I don't think he switched cars either. So, and there's Brandon Davis and Tyler Rimreed. We've seen Tyler racing his Pro Light off and on all weekend with some pretty good success. So great to see him running so strong for the Rage on the Rocks with Ultra 4, making history here at the 55th Polaris Crandon World Championship. We got a lot more racing action to come. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, world, to MAV TV for the 55th Polaris Crandon World Championship for the Ultra 4 Rage on the Rocks. So Tyler Rimreed on the inside of Brandon Davis making his Ultra 4 debut in that Miller Brothers Can-Am that raced at King of the Hammers earlier this year.
Tyler looking on the outside, and can he make it work? Now he's going to chop down to the inside, try to cut underneath them, but is he going to make it work? And he slides.
Oh, look at that closing. The door wheel to wheel, a little bit of contact, but it is clean as they head into the Brannock Boulders. Tyler Rimreed makes the pass over Brandon Davis.
Come on, Miles. I was waiting for a little bit of calamity in Calamity Corner. But no, these guys are going at it, and Tyler Rimreed now puts himself comfortably into third position, but he's got to watch out because Davis is not going to take that lightly.
And look at this, Ricky. Paul Wolf already back in that 5th position, so whatever issue he had early, he figured it out. Did he have to cycle the key to reset the computer? That's a complete guess. I don't have a clue, but Paul Wolf is back in the hunt, and we'll see if Paul Wolf can hunt these guys down.
He's got a great chance, and if we get a yellow flag in one of these places where he can make up that ground, he's definitely got a shot at it. And I'm going to say his lap times last night were about 2 seconds faster, so with this time, it should be a pretty good race. It's 14 seconds now. Let's keep an eye on 5th place, Paul Wolf, and see if he can catch up.
But remember, Paul Wolf has been out front every single race, so he's not used to be in this roost in the dust, so he's got his work cut out for him. And remember, this race did start. It is a 20-minute race plus 1 lap, so we are just a quarter way through this, and Paul Wolf is really trying to get around Brandon Davis. And there's Tyler Rimreed up front, the rock section. Look at the sparks flying, Ricky.
Unbelievable, and he's a veteran. He's run King of the Hammers, and every time you race there, you're always caught behind somebody. You have to think on your feet, and Paul Wolf has not won this many races by not thinking out the box, as we see some of the drivers get caught in this rock section.
And there's Brandon Davis that is stuck, so Carson Atkins has to come around, and so Brandon Davis is pulling off the track, not sure what is going on. Tough break for his Ultra 4 debut.
More than likely broke a CV, went to 3-wheel drive, can't climb out, but he was able to back down the hill wheels. So a lot of times that happens because when they're bouncing up and down, a wheel comes down, you're on the power, and all of a sudden it spikes that CV joint or breaks an axle, and there he sits.
And look at this. That is our physical race leader, Travis Zollinger, getting hunted down by Tyler Gibbs. Last time around, it was a 6-second lead, and now it's down to a 2.5. So Tyler Gibbs trying to reel in old Travis Zollinger here in the Polaris gravel pit. We'll see what happens next time around.
And this is what happens a lot of times. The two lead guys start thinking about each other, start messing each other up, and then here comes Paul Wolf. It just has an open track right now to get a better shot at them.
And was that Wolf in 4th position? I do believe it's looking good for him. Again, this has been a 2.5-mile track with the Ultra Cross rock section added to the Big House main track as they head into Granite Boulders once again. And it is Gibbs trying to reel in Zollinger. It's getting a little closer and down to a 2.5.
Gibbs has been really strong in that car of Kyle Cheney's, and when we talk about that, but now we look at it, Paul Wolf is now 1 second faster than your leader, Travis Zollinger, but it was actually Gibbs with a blistering lap of 2:41 over 2:44, which is Paul Wolf.
And they are heading back into the Ultra Cross section. They've got a little hard right down that turn, a little bit of a couple whoops, and then back here, back at us, they got some more whoops. What a great track the Ultra 4 team and Flannery's let us put on.
And there's your top 4 right there. You got Travis Zollinger, Tyler Gibbs, Tyler Remery, and also Paul Wolf. So Paul Wolf can see the front guys, and he knows that, and his spotter's going to let him know as well. So he has the leaders in sight. He's got to work. Obviously, he's not going to just drive by Tyler Remery. He's been strong all weekend long.
And I just saw Remery right there coming into screen just in front of Paul Wolf, so he is definitely feeling that. You can see the lights behind you. I love the rage on the rocks out back. It's just an added value of how difficult this could be, because if it was daylight, you wouldn't see the headlights. Now you have that to your advantage when you have somebody coming behind it. Oh, and there, I think that's Tyler Gibbs there in the middle of the rock section, missing a right rear. So Tyler Gibbs completely stuck. His die is done. Tough break for him.
Yep, he went over the thing. You can see his wheel over to the right, so he is not going anywhere. They are definitely going to need the winch to get him out at this point. But so now that puts Tyler Remery in 2nd place with Paul Wolf. So you're looking at these two drivers side by side, not side by side, but really, really close. And there is your leader, Travis Zollinger.
And let's give a huge shout out to the off-road fraternity. They came out here and they've been helping us do recovery out back with their big rock mounters. Some local guys just out here having fun. They love the Big House. They love Crandon. They love Ultra 4, and they are here to help.
There's your leader, Travis Zollinger, as he works his way through. And let's talk a little bit about a double-seater versus a single-seater. Now, I think, and we see Tyler Remery starting to pull Zollinger in. So, but it's going to be a very tight race, and now all of a sudden we see Paul Wolf is falling off the back a little bit again. So something might have happened in the rocks, because when you're right behind Tyler Remery, you can't see it. Sometimes you get popped a little bit to the left or the right. It gets a little confusing. Whoa, and on the bicycle. So he is not hanging back. He's giving it all he's got. But right now, the man on the move is Tyler Remery.
And Travis Zollinger going to have to hold off two guns of the sport of Tyler Gibbs and Tyler Remery. Oh, so Tyler Gibbs is out. Sorry, Tyler Remery and Paul Wolf as they come through once again to the Brannick Boulders. And look at Tyler Remery starting to reel in Travis Zollinger through the Brannick Boulders. That was a great run.
Absolute fantastic run. There's Paul Wolf you see in the back. But a lot of racing left, Miles. We still have 11 and a half minutes. So this
plus
race
the white flag.
Yeah, plus a white flag. So we have a lot of racing to go. So how much do you want to sit back? Is that what Paul Wolf is doing? I'm just going to keep him in sight, and then I'm going to pull him in at the end. We don't know, but we can always make accusations that people can beat us up on social media.
So I'm getting an update from Dave Cole that Gibbs lost a right rear corner trying to make a pass on Travis Zollinger. So that's what happened. Thanks for the update, Dave. And what a great run it has. But man, the attrition is starting to set in. We are almost at the halfway mark, Ricky.
And there are the top three. We see Zollinger's pulled away from Tyler Remery a little bit, but it seems like Remery seems to be a little bit faster when it comes to the short course. He's been running pro light, been running all year long in the Champ Series. So maybe that's his strong point over Zollinger. Well, as we're watching it, it's actually Paul Wolf has made that ground back up. Zollinger a little bit slow through the rocks. Looks like Tyler Emery off to the left. He's going to make a run at it. They got to get around that car. He's just going to try to maybe drive over the top. Going to push. Now, come on, let's move. Get on out the way.
So 1, 2, 3, nose to tail, and Paul Wolf may just get that second position. What a great run. Travis Zollinger, now it's Paul Wolf, then Tyler Emery. What a great run. So we got a lot more racing action to come. We'll be right back after this.
This Crandon Ultra 4 Rage on the Rocks is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. El Bandito Yankee Tequila. Break out the Bandito. And by Buzz Electric Bicycles. Buzz through life.
Welcome back, world, to MAV TV for the 55th Polaris Crandon World Championship for the Ultra 4 Rage on the Rocks. I am Miles Haskell alongside Mr. Ricky Johnson, and while we stepped away, we just saw Paul Wolf and Tyler Emery get around Travis Zollinger.
It was a great pass right after the finish line. Paul Wolf made it through the rocks on the first section of the Brandon Boulders, and then it was Tyler Emery in the back section. But what's happening, I'm seeing a gap when they come out of the back boulders. They're going through that off-road section. It's very dusty. When you're in at night, you can't see beside you. All you see is that tube of light, and that seems to be where the gap is. But Paul Wolf, picking right up where he left yesterday. Something happened. Then recycled the car. We'll find out when he's on the podium. But right now, he is out front with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, he came out early strong, but dropped off the pace about a quarter way through this thing, and we thought his race was over, but Paul Wolf's race is never over. He fought his way back, and Travis Zollinger had a great run going, but Wolf and Emery did sneak around him during our little break.
Once again, if you're just joining us, we're at the Big House, Crandon, Wisconsin, and this is the first time ever we're going to run this long course. Now, a long time ago when they originally started the brush run, they used to go all the way back to Argonne.
Through the brush,
and it was more a race like this. They didn't have a rock section back then. It wasn't quite as gnarly as it is today, but the cars didn't have the suspension, the chassis, or anything like that. So it was a completely different kind of race than what we see now. But now we're bringing back a little of that old flair, but the guys have to go back there. There's a little bit of light, but the lights on the cars are definitely helping them out.
It's been so much fun, and again, a huge shout out to Toyota. Let's go places. Without them, we would not be racing here tonight. For the Rage on the Rocks with Ultra 4 during this pro-modified race, Paul Wolf is putting on a clinic once again. That UTV you're looking at right there has not lost an Ultra 4 race this weekend. Let's see if he can keep that streak alive. Rimreed wants to end it.
Tyler Rimreed is right there, and actually it's running really hard through the rocks, getting a good run at him. But watch when they come into here. Notice the dust miles. They can't see when he goes in there, so he's got to back off for a second. But I got to give it to Tyler Rimreed. He is just running through the dust, keeping his eye on that tail light of Paul Wolf to chase him down. So the race is not over.
It's far from over. We still have 4 minutes to go until the white flag. So that's going to be at least 1, maybe 2 more laps until that white flag comes out as Paul Wolf gets another bicycle. That shows you how hard he is actually pushing.
He's trying for sure. He's not giving it up because he knows if he relaxes just a minute, Tyler Rimreed, he's going to be there. These guys have raced each other in these side-by-sides, so they respect each other, but they also know how crafty and how fast each of them are. So Tyler's been out there. Both of these guys have been running on the trucks. Pro 4 for Wolf and also Pro Light for Tyler. So they know their way around here. They've done a bunch of laps this weekend.
Yeah, between Wolf and the entire Rimreed team, they're racing all sorts of races. I'll bet you they've got 20 races between the two of them that they're racing this weekend. So you talk about seat time, they have got it.
Definitely. And they ran the Class 11 buggy as well. They had 2 over there in the Rimreed pit. So I love it. That's the greatest thing now. If you have the races together, stays together, and they're out there. 3.5 minutes to go, so we still have probably about 4 more laps.
I'd say 3 more laps.
3 more laps. We've been going back and forth.
We'll see.
But yeah, so they're right now, they're at 2 minutes, so you're definitely 3 laps. We were right at 2 minutes and 38 seconds was the last time for Tyler Rimreed. Both of them they were identical times.
To the 10th of a second, to the thousandths of a second. That's crazy.
That's unbelievable. 2:38.994 for both first and second place. That shows you how hard these two drivers are running. So a couple bicycles and Rimreed's right there.
Yeah, thanks to each and every one of you tuned in all over the world. This has been an amazing weekend, and we are hot and heavy here for the Rage on the Rocks with Ultra 4, all part of the 55th Polaris Crandon World Championships. A ring is on the line at this race right now. We've got some trophies and some checks that'll be heading out tonight.
I gotta say, I'm watching Tyler Emery's car. I think it handles a little better over the jumps, and we see that, but through the rocks, both cars just so strong as we see Tyler work his way through. But Wolf with a very, very consistent and strong pace as he comes in. Emery making a run, a couple bounces left to the right, and he looks like he's going to get a shot at it.
I'm a little curious who's going to push harder and make a. There it is, Remery up the rocks, kissing. A little action right there. We'll see how that shakes out. But Remery goes for the pass, does not get it stuck. Paul Wolf still out front with Remery right behind him. And look who snuck into third place, Ricky. Carson Atkins. He's in that Yamaha.
Yeah, Carson Atkins has been working. He's been the silent killer. He's been in the back. We haven't seen much of it because we're spending so much time on this battle, which it deserves. I mean,
great battle.
These guys are going nose to tail. And right now, let's see if Travis can make him some more time on the short course and maybe get another shot at those rocks.
So Paul Wolf out of Alton, Illinois, with Wolf Racing still out front. Tyler Remery out of Omaha, Nebraska, and with TR Racing that second spot. And then Carson Atkins, the number 722, out of Seymour, Tennessee, with Dave On Racing snuck in that third spot. We'll see how it shakes out, but the battle up front is a great one, Ricky.
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get the white flag this time by, so we're definitely going to probably go probably. There you go. That's
definitely probably, sort of, kind of, maybe.
Whatever. But we are definitely going 2 more laps, so the white flag is not coming out this time. Paul Wolf will make it to the starter box with time on the clock. So right now it's a minute, and he's only about 20 seconds away.
Yeah, last time around it was within 2 seconds. Now we got about a minute of breathing room here. So 2 laps to go for Paul Wolf being chased down by Tyler Remery. What a great run by these 2 up front as they go through the Brannock Boulders. 2 more laps to go.
Look how fast Tyler Remery came through there. He was on top. It didn't even look like he dropped a wheel in there. Made up a couple seconds, but remember in the race before, Paul Wolf slowed down. There was no slowing down this time.
He knows. The spotter up there says, hey, Tyler's coming. You're going to have to drive your A game because he is on you. He's trying to push you, just like we saw a couple races earlier. You really, when you're behind him, you try to push him to make that mistake, and Paul Wolf doesn't make too many, but look, lap traffic could play into this race.
That could definitely play into it because we've seen them get caught. You can only jump a little bit to the left or to the right. You got your preferred line. You know where you can stay on top of the rocks. So lap traffic can play a huge game when it comes to this.
So Paul Wolf out front, Tyler Remery, then Carson Atkins, Travis Zollinger, Dwayne Wells, Tyler Gibbs. So we have quite a few attrition. So we know that Gibbs is out, Walraven's out, Lee Croy's out, and Davis. Tough break for those.
And then just like you said, here comes one of the lap drivers right in front of Paul Wolf. Can he make it around, and can Tyler Remery try to make a pass at this point?
We saw him in this exact spot last time around trying to make the pass, but took a bad hit those cones, and we'll see how it shakes out.
And he looks on the outside, but it's going to be a right-hand corner. He sticks
into the trees. Ooh, that was close.
They are dicing. And now we know that there's only 1 lap to go. So once they make it around, down around the first turn, into the barn corner, now they have enough more lap traffic. So this race is not over.
It's far from over as we're in Cowboy Corner. Paul Wolf and Tyler Remery giving it their all. And there's where the spotter's awesome. He says, hey, leaders are coming around, pull away, and he does as Remery's trying to reel in Paul Wolf. Next time around, the white flag will be out as they come through Potawatomi, turn number 1. 1 more lap to go.
2 completely different situations. Paul Wolf got a little loose in Cowboy Corner, and Tyler Remery looked like he got on the gas a little soon and pushed a little bit. Then he had to let off, and that's what gave Paul Wolf that little bit of cushion right now. But where Remery's been really fast is going into the woods. I mean, he is making up time every time through there. So if it's shot, it's going to be on the second set of rocks.
And I feel like Remery's pushing harder through the rocks, but that's taking a little bit of gamble there because these cars have taken a beating, but keep on rocking and rolling as they come into Calamity Corner, and the white flag will be flying for Paul Wolf and Tyler Remery. There it is at the McCoy finish line. 1 lap to go as they head at the Brannock Boulders for the final time tonight for the Pro Modified class.
Tyler goes in with the attitude, checkers or records. I'm either coming out first or I am going to be on the record going back. But Paul Wolf picked up his pace quite a bit. But this is the section that Tyler Remery has been very quick. So watch as they jump off in Argonne corner and take a step back. This is where Tyler Remery has made a lot of time. So he still has one more shot if he can bridge that gap going into that second section of rocks. Make sure that Paul Wolf doesn't bicycle as he goes through these corners.
And it's about a 2.5 second lead right now for Paul Wolf over Tyler Remery. And it is down to the Ultra Cross Crandon land section. We'll see what happens. The boulders back here have made the difference in a lot of races. Paul Wolf starting to pull out about a 3-second lead now.
Yeah, Paul Wolf, and I actually like the attitude of Tyler Remery's car a little bit better, but Paul Wolf, I think, was holding back a little bit, but he's not holding back now. Look at him dance across those rocks. He is running hard.
That goes to show you what these Can-Ams can do. Paul Wolf in that exact machine just won the race we saw just moments ago, and it's looking like he's going to win once again. But look at Remery coming with the heat right here. He knows it is all down to this last lap, and Remery bumps Wolf as they head into the trees. What an exciting race this is going to be. It's a race to the finish.
Cowboy corner could be a lot of action if you can come in there and give Wolf a little bit of bump, maybe get him on the bicycle and get a run at him. The race is not over yet. Let's see what happens in Cowboy corner.
So Wolf still out front. Remery trying to reel him in. Almost identical cars. It's going to be down to this last half a lap as they head towards Potawatomi, turn number 1 for the final time for the Pro Mod Rage on the Rocks here at the Big House in Crandon, Wisconsin.
Well, this is one of those situations, Miles, where as soon as the checkered flag falls, you're pissed off because you lost. You don't want to be second. They always say that's the first loser. But when you look back, you go, I got to be proud of myself. Tyler Remery has run an unbelievable race, and you got to say these are the kind of races that you wish for. Because at this moment, look at how far they're sending off the jumps. You're giving it all you got. You want to be the winner, but the level of competition these guys are putting each other through is unbelievable.
As Paul Wolf and Tyler Remery in the Polaris gravel pit for the last time to hit the Polaris Skyway, Paul Wolf is moments away from the checkered flag as they come into Calamity Corner.
Tyler Remery looking around, but it is Paul Wolf that is going to pull off a straight 4 for 4. Unbelievable for Paul Wolf. Tyler Remery, keep your head up, buddy. That was an unbelievable race.
What a great job it was by Paul Wolf, dropping back early but fighting his way back and then never looking back. He will take a World Championship ring, 2 World Championship rings home tonight. Is he going to be able to back it up in the 4,400 Unlimited class here in just a little bit? Paul Wolf is having one heck of a weekend here with Ultra 4 for Rage on the Rocks. It's been so much fun, Ricky.
Well, physically, you can see he's like, oh man, it's over. Unbelievable job by him. And as I said, 4 for 4, but he's got one more to go.
And we'll see how it shakes out, but there's 1 and 2, Paul Wolf and Tyler Remery. What an amazing race here for the Pro Mod. We're going to step away and hand out some trophies here in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere.
This Crandon Ultra 4 Rage on the Rocks is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Rod End Supply. We don't just sell them, we race them. And by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
What's up, everybody? Chris Jacobs here in Crandon, Wisconsin. I am in the Toyota Activation with Paul Dolchel, the Group Motorsports Manager of Toyota North America. This is a cool display, man.
Thank you. We're happy to be here. It's our first trip to Crandon, and it's an amazing crowd and an amazing event.
Now, the first thing that drew me into the display was the FJ Bruiser over there. I remember seeing it at SEMA last year. It's great to see it again in person. So let's talk about your presence here at Crandon. Why do you feel that it's important for Toyota to have a footprint here?
Yeah, we've got a couple of our drivers, Johnny Greaves and CJ Greaves, that run short course for us for a very long time. Seth Quintero's got a global footprint with us and running with Red Bull, and then it's running a Pro 2 this weekend. But for us, TRD and TRD Pro has a long lineage. We go back to the Ivan days and PPI with Cal Wells, and we're trying to just kind of get back to that. And the people that have always supported us through that entire time, even though we haven't been necessarily competing in the desert and some of those events, but still buying our product. So to come out here and engage with them again, and it's great to see what they're looking for, what they want. see them excited about our new vehicles. You know, we've got the new Tacoma TRD Pro. Getting these cars out for them to see them, get in them, feel them, and see what they like. Talk them out of some of the other product they're looking at. So it's fun. It's a great time.
Let's talk a little bit about the 2024 lineup, and I see that all of the vehicles back here are the same color, Terra. That's the hero color this year?
It was for Pro, yeah, for TRD Pro. So that's the main color. We'll typically have a new hero color every year. I've seen a sneak peek at next year's, so it's pretty nice. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that comes out.
So talk about this vehicle in particular and some of the changes that you guys made for the 24 model.
It's pretty much ground up. So new powertrain, new frame, chassis, suspension, body, everything is different. So pretty remarkable. It does share a lot with the new 4Runner that's coming in with Land Cruiser that's out. But you know, I've been in it. It's got great power, rides wonderfully. It's just a different truck, but still super off-road capable.
And of course, Land Cruiser, one of the marquee models for Toyota. We've got a new model right over here. Tell us about the new Land Cruiser.
New Land Cruiser comes all hybrid, but with that comes torque and horsepower, but still fuel economy. And Land Cruiser is known for getting you there and getting you back, and we feel that this one's still capable of doing that no matter where you take it.
Awesome, man. Paul Dolshell, I appreciate you talking to me, man. Thank you for being here at Crandon, and I'll see you at SEMA in Vegas.
Absolutely.
Right on, brother. Welcome back, everybody, to the 55th Polaris Crandon World Championships here at Crandon International Raceway, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. And the one place Paul Wolf is going tonight is the #1 podium.
The winner's circle, right?
Oh, yeah, baby.
4 consecutive, man. I mean, what an impressive show, and one more yet to go, and he have a sweep of the weekend, but he has been tough for sure. With that said, Tyler Emery kept him honest here in this one. That is for sure.
He sure did through those rocks in the backwoods there. I thought he was going to get him, but Paul was able to hold him off each and every time. A great race by 2 great competitors. And with highlights of the race, let's throw it back to Miles Hasselquist and Ricky Johnson.
Thank you, Chris and Ken. What a great start we had. It was Travis Zollinger out front, but then Paul Wolf was in that second position, but Ricky, he dropped back early.
He fell back, but then it was Tyler Emery as he pushes his way up into second place. Tyler was the man on the move. Zollinger was out in front, and here we see Paul Wolf actually coming back after those guys. We saw him fade back. Something happened. So I probably had to recycle the car, but then the race was on between these two, Tyler Wolf and, Paul Wolf and Tyler Emery.
And there was a great battle right there you're seeing on your screen earlier tonight. This pro modified class was so fun to watch. There's Travis Zollinger that was out front, but here's Paul Wolf that gets that pass once again and moves into the lead and locks down his 4th UTV Ultra 4 race this weekend. Tyler Emery goes for the pass, does a little bumping, but makes it happen. Paul with a great shot.
He went after him a couple different times, but then it was Paul Wolf that put it together and came across first.
It's a great shot. So Paul Wolf, Tyler Emery, Travis Zollinger. Pam Hall is standing by. Pam, take it away.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Travis Zollinger. You went out swinging at the beginning of this race, out in the lead, but here you are finishing in that #3 spot. What happened to make you fall back into this 3rd position?
Oh, man, this rock section here, when Paul and I went pushing through it, driveline let go. Rattled around for a while, and then I had 2-wheel drive, so I did the best I could just to get here. And hey, a box in Crandon, it's a beautiful thing.
In this #2 spot, Mr. Tyler Emery. Last night, you were in that #3 spot. You and Travis switched positions tonight. Smile on your face. You've had a lot of seat time already for today, but how do you feel right now?
Yeah, I was coming out in that race for blood. Obviously, I didn't want to take 3rd place yesterday. We set the fastest lap yesterday, and Paul knew we were fast, but yeah, I mean, we come out here to race, and unfortunately, we had some bad luck earlier in the short course racing, so I wanted to make up for it this evening. Yeah, that was so much fun. I had a smile on my face. That was such a battle with Paul. I had a lot of fun.
I know watching you guys out there was obviously a great battle, like you just said, but amazing. But who all would you like to thank for getting you out here?
Yeah, #1, my mom and dad for supporting this crazy dream of mine. Can-Am, that car was just on the rails this weekend. Evo, Power Sports, Maxxis tires, I cannot believe those tires are not flat right now, because we were in the rocks and I literally saw Paul at the top of the hill and I went as fast as I possibly could, and the next thing I knew, I was right in his ass. So I was like, all right, let's go. And huge shout out to Maxxis. Tire Spine, you know, that race wouldn't be possible without him. Race Line, Rugged Radios, CT Raceworks for building that car, man. Like, you can just beat the hell out of those things and they last. So RCV Performance, this is everyone, my mechanics, my family, the Schmidt family. You know, this is a huge, huge family sport. My spotter, Luke, all the crazy fans that stuck around to watch that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show, and next time I'm going to go for that win. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome, congratulations again, and you're finishing out this season strong. You have a lot of seat time as well, going into Nitro Cross as well, but congratulations on tonight.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you, guys.
All right, next up, he's already been up here once tonight, Mr. Paul Wolf. I don't know how you do it, but just for one moment, at the beginning of the race, I don't know what happened. I didn't see you. What happened?
Yeah, so we threw a new belt on the car and we took off. I didn't warm it up or break it in, and I took off the start and it slipped the belt and put the car in limp mode, so I had to shut it off and refire it. If them guys would have picked the pace up about a lap sooner, I'd have never caught them. They were just trying to take care of their cars, and I was running mine for all it had. And that Can-Am held up strong. Travis Zollinger builds parts. Like I said before, he builds knuckles and stuff. They all held up great. That car is a tough car.
I'm Ken Stout, and from all of us here on MAV TV, we hope you enjoyed all the racing action from our coverage of the 55th Polaris Crandon World Championships.